The Democrats, their reaction to President Trump's address last night is being called embarrassing, disgraceful, one of the ugliest displays of partisan politics in American history. Now listen to this. The night began with several Democrats turning their backs on the president, then walking out.
All right, y'all, I don't have a lot of time. I just came off the House floor. I could not stand one more second, tolerate one more second.
And not to be outdone, Congressman Al Green made such a scene, he had to be thrown out.
That's your warning. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Now, this was barely 5 minutes into Trump's speech. Talk about decorum. That's what they're supposed to have. It was truly shameful. It got worse. Democrats did not clap for Mark Fogel, a freed American hostage standing beside his 95-year-old mother.
Last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
And then Trump announced the capture of a terrorist, someone who killed 13 heroic Americans in Afghanistan. But nope, can't stand for that.
3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Well, how about the murder of student Laken Riley? Can we get out of our seats for that?
Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
And then finally, a 13-year-old pediatric cancer patient who wishes to be a police officer. Can we all stand? Can we all clap for a hero that America fell in love with?
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. Thank you, DJ.
Lisa, we were just talking about how America cried in that moment. I fell in love in that moment. DJ Daniels. But I watched Debbie Wasserman Schultz recalcitrant, sitting there almost grimacing. No claps from her. No standing from Democrats.
Yeah, I tweeted out that President Trump's only mistake was not bringing coloring books and crowns to keep the Democrats busy during the speech, because it looked like they were at the kids' table. And there were all these beautiful moments that you just laid out so eloquently that you would think would bring a country together. I mean, these are wins for humanity. These are wins for America. And that's really what the speech was about. And I'm so glad that he gave it because, look, the Trump administration has been moving so quickly, even in the news business. I mean, you go to a press conference afterwards and like, oh, we're going to talk about it. Which part? Like, which question?
Yeah.
100 different topics that were discussed. And so what he was able to do is just take a moment and tell the American people, this is what I've been doing. And it's all wins for America. More than $1.7 trillion of investments already in just a few short weeks, solving the border crisis already, taking out terrorists, even pointing out, fixing government corruption, like a 306-year-old Social Security recipient, which, that really funny remark to Bobby Kennedy being like, I guess we're a healthier country than I thought. But that's all winning. That's all common sense. That's all good for America. And to see Democrats, sit there, the only thing I can conclude is that they hate President Trump more than they love this country.
Correct. Yeah, let's learn a little bit more about DJ and his own words and his 13 surgeries.
I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They have 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. And I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Beautiful, beautiful words. And let's bring in the not-so-rational reaction of Nicole Wallace.
I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer, but I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
Harris, what happened to humanity?
What happened to Nicole Wallace? She was a Republican. She was the comms director for former President G.W. Bush. Like, she was somebody who could see the nation in a nonpartisan way when it called for that from the White House. She could see Americans. What is she looking at right now? She has joined the liberal side of the chamber last night, who I now can call, I mean, literally, the largest convention of heart donors living on the planet. Living heart donors. What happened to that beating passion inside their chest that said, we want to do great things for America and Americans? If they ever said it, did they even mean it? Look, I realize that they're struggling to find a message and a leader and all of that. But is the struggle so hard that you've been so damaged that now as a hurt person, you hurt others? That's what I thought of when she was speaking. I thought, there's been real heart damage here, and she's hurting, and so I guess she's just going to punch and kick. And Rachel Maddow just sitting there nodding. It was heartbreaking. I mean, I guess that's the thing. It's not anger. It is disappointment, but it's heartbreak.
It is. It's heartbreak. And, I want to compare, Emily, 1 year ago, how Laken Riley was talked about by the President of the United States versus last night. By the way, her name is Laken, not Lincoln. Watch the comparison.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
It's different president.
Different president. And the contiguous seat was Speaker Mike Johnson behind there, right in that seat. And such a different experience. Look, I have to talk for a moment about the infected Democrat Party, and just to carry that football a little bit. It is fascinating to me, and not a little bit disheartening, that for that party that is grappling with an identity crisis, that they still, for some reason, aren't listening to the 70+ million voters of their party who have something to say. I know Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow went on Instagram last night and told Politico as well. She said, people are sick and tired of this performative nonsense. This is a Democrat state senator saying this. She said, we don't want these elected officials anymore to be cute or clever. People are craving substance. And I bring that up to point out that the disheartening nature of those elected officials refusing to even look over at DJ Daniels, at Mark Bogle, at so many incredible Americans who deserve their fellow Americans to support them in that moment. The winning of President Trump, the winning of us all, is such a letdown for those Americans that believe that whatever party you are under one flag. And the sickening display by Nicole Wallace to reduce DJ Daniels' triumphant young life, his aspirations, and the honor bestowed upon him that he obviously loved in that moment, for her to reduce that to a talking point that, by the way, she doesn't believe, because if she did, she wouldn't have piled on to the defund the police nonsense that led to so many officers dying by suicide. So I hope she issues a formal apology, as do I hope all of those Democrat officials that displayed that untoward, sickening behavior in the chamber.
Griff, I'm thinking about someone watching, someone who may be a Democratic voter. And maybe someone who says, look, it's called politics. There are Republicans who have had antics at States of the Union, too. And they may point to, Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, stay Laken Riley's name. I wanted to go back myself this morning and look at the 2024 State of the Union and see what Republicans did in emotional moments. Watch this. Watch Mike Johnson when President Biden has an emotional, heartwarming moment.
Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him. And 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also
That's what you do.
Yeah. It's called decorum. It's called, having some respect when you should clearly put politics aside for that. But look, let me just tell you something that shocks me, that really encapsulates what Democrats did wrong there. And it's to Harris's point about not finding a message or changing a message. They've stayed on the message of just oppose everything Trump does. We're just going to stand in the way no matter how great it is. Al Green is a congressman from Houston. DJ Daniels is from the Houston area.
Great point.
I'm trying to confirm whether Al Green is specifically DJ's congressman, but if that's the case, how damning is that? Because, all the members, we know who's on the guest list. If DJ is Al Green's constituent and you put up that show of disrespect and didn't have the respect to stay in the gallery to applaud him, it tells you everything you need to know. There's an old saying people used to say, well, if I dove in a river and saved a drowning man, the headline would simply read, so-and-so proves can't walk on water. And that seems to be the playbook that the Democrats are taking. And it was missed opportunities. I was texting with people last night when we were watching it, and I said, between the bingo battles and, of course, all the ladies in pink, which you were pointing out in your last hour, they tanked the transgender keeping biological men out of women's sports, and yet they're wearing pink to support women because Trump's damaging them. It's just literally a failure of epic proportions, and I think that's why you saw Democrats like David Axelrod and others that were attacking the behavior, which at very best, childish is about the best you could.
Well, don't insult the children.
Yeah, don't insult the children. That's a great point you made about Al Green. Lisa, I want to just come back to you politically. I just wonder what Democrats are thinking. Quinnipiac found 21% is the approval rating of congressional Democrats. So that's your approval rating, an all-time low of 21%. 49% of Democrats disapprove of congressional Democrats, so almost half of your own party. Doug Schoen asked, it is as if the Democrat Party has gone beyond even Clinton campaign strategist James Carville's advice about staying silent and playing possum. They have become trivial and almost irrelevant.
Well, they're still stammering after this past election. They're trying to, they're doing, we always say the soul searching after you sort of get defeated in that way. And I think they're out of arrows. They've shot everything at President Trump. He's still standing and stronger than ever.
Yeah, he is.